Hello, this is Telomere and welcome to another repair video. In this video, we're working on this Samsung Galaxy S3, which has not just one problem, it's got two. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it on screen. Yeah, you can kind of. Right there, there's one heck of a crack right across the LCD panel itself. And the other thing that's less noticeable is the charge port itself needs to be replaced. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. And we're going to start off immediately. It's just taking this phone apart. Like, it's so nice how easy it is to take the back off. Look at that. Look how easy that is to take off. And now we just got to get all the screws out from that phone. So we're going to be cracking through this really fast. Now, because I got to go and do the charge port replacement, I may as well take the whole motherboard out regardless. It would also just make it a little bit easier to work on the phone. So I'm going to peel this all out. And there is a couple of screws that I've got to get out of here. A couple, might be just one. I find that odd that there's just one, but just the one screw right there. How about that? This one should be for the screen and the digitizer. I'm not sure what it is, but something is holding the phone in place. Oh, I'm being an idiot. Let's take the screw out. That might help. There, now it should come out. Oh man, sometimes I wonder about myself. I'm going to remove the camera right here just because I am going to have to put this underneath the microscope and be heating it all up. So I don't want to damage that back camera. Now here is the charge port that I've got for it. It looks like it's the correct one. So we'll do that in a bit, but let's switch over. Let's just focus on getting that screen out. I'd really like to test this screen before I do anything else. Now the screen would be like this, and that means it would fold up like this, which means I need to have the connector like that. Just noticed a piece of rubber fell out, and I don't know where it's from. I'm going to guess it has something to do with the charge port. And let's find out if we at least get something on the display. Oh, there we go. So it is charging. Well, I don't know. The connector is really annoying to deal with. So is it charging? Yes, there we go. It's got lots of battery. This is from a little while back. I charged it with like putting the cable at a very particular angle to get it to do what I needed it to. But, yeah, there we go. I'm just going to push this down so that I should have a good connection to the power button. And let's just try pushing that button in. I think this is the power button. There we go. That worked. Now we can test the screen. I got to hold that battery real steady though. All right. Touchscreen works. I'm going to hold down one of these icons. We're just going to look around for dead spots. If there is a dead spot in the digitizer, my finger will release from the icon and it will just drop wherever it will. So as I can see, it looks like there's no dead spots. It's great to see. So let's go ahead and get this screen installed. We're looking at now just the screen to be replaced. You're going to notice that here you got lots of space that is all open, and this is actually the back of the phone's screen itself, all these capacitors, etc. I think the easiest way to get this is to heat up the entire screen as it is, and then I'm going to just take maybe like my screwdriver or a spudger or something, and I'm just going to push. And as I push, I'm going to be putting it like that against the desk. And hopefully it should lift up the screen enough that I can get something underneath there easily. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to put this onto the heater. So I've got it nice and hot. In fact, it's very hot. Being on that heating pad was definitely whoosh, it's toasty. Let's see if that does the trick. Will it start pushing that screen up? Is it enough? I have a feeling that up here and around here, that's all screen. It is pushing up. It's just not pushing up much. I'll put it back on the heater, just let it heat up for a bit longer. All right, let's try that. I have this little guy here as well. It's not really meant for this kind of work. It's meant for separating screens from the LCD panel. So let's just see if this can get us going. I don't want to use it much because it will damage the frame. I mean, the frame's already kind of damaged anyway, so what difference does it make? It seems to be working. So I'm going to move on to one of these. That works really fast, actually. I should use this more often. And I'm just going to run it along here with some alcohol every once in a while. I really want to get this up as quickly as possible. These can take a lot of time if you're fiddling around too much with trying to get the screen removed, and it shouldn't need that much time to get it removed from the phone. Okay, there's the digitizer. I think I'm going to need to apply a little bit more heat on this. Just going to use a heat gun. That was a lot easier. In the garbage. There's a lot of glass here, and from my experience, easiest way to deal with this panel, because it's going to just shatter into little bitsy pieces, is to cover it up with tape, and you just got to go at it. You just got to slice off that bit from the top. Let's see if I can push this out. It's just looking at that tiny little hole right there and pushing. There. That did the trick. Unfortunately, it looks like I pushed through the little what's it called on the back as well, but oh no. No. No, I don't want that to happen. It looks like this is part of the adhesive. Let's try back down here again. I'm annoyed. That's not going to be fun. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's already flying off. Okay, it's better than last time, but I'm still seeing little flakes of stuff, so I'm going to grab my safety glasses. Oh, there's always so much adhesive. Why? I'm going to drench it with alcohol, fight it with tooth and nail. Alright, that's it. I'm going to grab some gloves. No, you know what? Yeah, no, yes, gloves. Gloves. Finally finished off another box. You can actually get these from Amazon. I do have a affiliate link in the video description if you need these, or really any of the equipment that I am using to work on the equipment and phones and devices, etc. in the videos. Now, obviously, this isn't going to stop glass shards, but the really small stuff, it can at least provide some level of protection. This is going to require lots of alcohol. I'm just going to douse it. More alcohol. I'm trying really hard to basically just straight up waste no time on this, because I know that if I go slow and I'm like, oh, I gotta be careful, it's gonna be ages before I get this all done. It's just terrible. It's just disgusting. I think I need to remove this as well. That all needs to go. That material needs to go. It is gross. One method I can definitely choose to use is lots of heat. That should help, in theory. Oh, that came out a lot better than I expected. This all right here, I think, is like a graphite or carbon pad or something. I don't think there is any point in removing it. It can stay. So on the back of the screen, it has adhesive. But what it doesn't have is all along here, there is none. What I'm wanting to know is, because it's so hard to remake this right here, is it still sticky enough? It is very sticky. And down here, it's annoying, but I will have to make a new piece of adhesive for the bottom. So I'm going to take my glue remover tool. We're just going to get rid of all of the adhesive strips that are all around the edges of this. Now I'm going to put some alcohol down here so that it can help me get this cleaned up. But there are some sensors around here that you got to really be careful about. I'm going to put it back together to some degree, and we're just going to test. Let's see that go to the main screen. Make sure it's working properly. Awesome, it's in. Now there's something I'm immediately wondering about, and which is the home button. I need to know whether or not the home button is working. So let's tap there, and let's tap on the home button. Does it bring it back? It does. Good. Let's move over to the microscope. I'm going to start off with heating from below. Actually, maybe I'll try from above. It's taken a lot longer than I expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some solder into those holes. All right, let's saturate this thing. There you go. You can see it already starting to wet. The solder's beginning to wet. There we go. Do we have any torn pads? I don't see any torn pads. It looks like a clean pull. Let's get rid of the solder off of there, get it cleaned up, and re-tin those pads. It is rather important to get rid of the old flux, and the reason why is because that burned flux doesn't work nearly as well as putting some fresh stuff on. I'm just going to give the board a quick clean. There we go, look at that. As if there was never a port there. Okay, let's throw down some new solder. It's been fluxed up. Now I just gotta drop the new port in. I really wish that I had my smaller tip on hand. This is shaky. Now, from what I've seen from other YouTubers when they're doing this, and just a bit of my own experience, it's best to heat the board up in advance before you drop the port in place. If you don't, you may actually melt the connector, the new charge port that you're trying to put in. So let's apply heat first, and then we can get it in, and then you gotta leave it on the heat for a chunk longer so that the port comes up to temperature. So after I get these wetted, I'm going to be switching from the top to the bottom. Alright, there we go. It's gotten there. I'm dropping it in place. How's that look? None of the pins are connected. I think none of the pins are connected, I mean. It's lined up well, though. It's sat flat as well. I don't think there's much else I can do at this point, at least with my abilities. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out my tip for a smaller tip. I'm going to check the connectors first. I want to make sure that they are... do I actually need to do work on this? This is the question. Like, are they connected or are they not? Yeah, that one's disconnected. That one is too. That one's fine. Part of the issue was that I don't believe I had enough flux on the board. Those ones seem fine. I'm going to apply some more flux, and I'm just going to have to dab at it with the soldering iron. Okay, let's try those pins again. They're all nice and stuck down. So this is done. I'm going to give it a little bit more heat up, and then I'm going to clean out that flux that's sitting in there. Okay, we got a lot of stuff on the desk because I got some other projects on the go, but what we're interested in right now is just seeing about whether or not the charge port here is receiving a charge or basically getting any power at all. And here is a micro USB cable. Here we go. We're going to be looking on the amp meter to see what's happening. Now, I don't have a battery in this, obviously, or anything else. I just want to see what it does. It should show something. You see that? It did pop up. It showed something. And it's not going to, as far as I know, it's not going to do much else because it doesn't have anything to push. So if I was to put even just a battery in, I'm pretty sure it should start doing something. You see that? So it is charging. It's doing what it's supposed to be. That charge port is good. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a wiggle. Is it solid? Is it doing exactly what it's supposed to be? It is. Okay, great. We can move on. Now at this point, the screen isn't fully attached, as you can clearly see, but I wanted to put it completely back together. Not completely, but close enough for it to turn on. I think that's about all I need to give it a good test. This should be enough to see what's going on with it. There we go. And what do we see? Shows here that it's charging, and it is already at around 86%, so it's not going to go up much, but it is going above the 40 mark. So it's doing more or less what I was expecting it to do at a pretty much full battery, which is good. I am going to need to put some adhesive strips on along here, or I might do it along here. That might be a little easier to do. That's good to go. Should be able to just slot that in. Get this into position. I gotta get that home button situated as well. So you notice I'm putting much pressure, a lot of pressure up at the top. This is where I'm most interested in, because the other parts there, this isn't going to be bulging out or anything. It should be just flat. There isn't anything under it beside the glue. Here we are. A bit's done. Nicely stuck down. We can finally start building this phone back up. Here I'm starting to put the phone together, and I'm forgetting about these rubber pieces. I have no idea where this came from. and I don't know what it's for nor what it does, but I got to take this back apart because I do know where this goes. So this one has it up here. I think this is supposed to go down here. Yeah, that's exactly where it goes. So this is for the microphone. Now this, you see those 3 dots? I had a feeling that this is where it went just because of the shape of it alone made me think, oh, it must be something to do with the charge port itself. And it goes right there. Small amount of, I would call it very, very weak water resistance is what that is. That's my guess. It's intended for water resistance. Okay, gotta just put this back on, throw those screws in, and then the last bit that I need to do is I need to do some good old solid testing on this phone. So let's turn it on. The home button is a little bit shaky, you can see, but what's important is that it works. And with these aftermarket screens, I think it's an aftermarket screen. What you have is it just is, you know. Just make sure that that home button's still working. It is. That's up and working, guys. It's done. So that's another phone complete. From super messed up, like cracked screen, dead port. I mean, it's still not perfect looking, and it's the wrong color. It's supposed to be black, not white. I couldn't really find one that was black that was a reasonable price. It was in fact double the price of the white ones. So it's white, it's off color, but it works. I'm happy about that. Sometimes that's about all you can ask for. So if you guys like the video, please do leave a like. If you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video.